Hi, I'm Martina, and in this video, I'm super excited to film today. I'm going to share with you something that completely changed the way I see and I work with energies and the way how I perceive myself. So, you might laugh, astrology is just like magic. No, it is actually something very, very old. I would say astrology was the base for psychology because in astrology we talk about archetypes, about behaviors, about types of people. So, like everyone in Europe or in the West, I followed tropical astrology. A tropical astrology is 12 zodiacs, like the let's call it mainstream, okay? So I never questioned that. I was born an Aquarius, okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm an Aquarius, but then I discovered my natal chart, like all planets, connections. I really like it. It explained a lot. Okay, so it's not just your sun sign, your moon, or your Venus. Yeah, I got really deep into that, but there was something that didn't add up. I have a temper. I have like quite passionate personality. I'm bold. I'm too bold sometimes. And I have in a tropical astrology, I have zero fire signs. So I was like, where does that fire comes from? I get it, I'm Polish, right? So well, we have a bit of um straightforwardness, I would say. Okay, so but it still didn't explain why I took risky choices, why I was so adventurous, why even my sexual life was completely like it didn't match anything. It didn't match my signs, okay? And the first moment I started to question that, it was when I was so in love with someone, and I wanted to be able to communicate better with him. So I got compatibility chart for us to understand the dynamic, because it was like very complicated. And I am a person who likes to uh, learn about new stuff, okay, but also I like to know how to work with things. And when I saw his chart, when I saw my chart, and it was like it was a very famous, she is still a very, very famous astrologist, but she was using that classic tropical astrology, okay? It didn't match it, so for me it was like, well, he has a lot of fire signs, but he seems like he's very like not so fierce like I am, and I have zero fire sign. So that was the first time when I started to question that. So it was all about fire. And in this video, I'm going to explain step by step, and I'm going to expose myself completely. You're welcome. So yeah, I'm going to explain you why it's so important to be connected to the system that works for you, not against you. And you might stay with a tropical astrology. Why not? If it's working for you, it didn't work for me. I love my fire. I love to be passionate. I love adventures. I want to be connected to the right elements. And each zodiac has its own element. Each planet, even houses where the energy is disposed, okay, it's very important because it does affect you. So astrology is a map. You can use it or you can just pretend it doesn't exist. For me, I like to use stuff for my benefit. I like to know what is affecting me right now and how I can feel better, move better, live better. So it also explains a lot, why am I even here um, on this planet in this time. So if you want to go through that with me, I'm going to show you my sidereal my sidereal chart, and I will compare a tropical and a sidereal astrology step by step, and then I will explain you how it affected all me, and how my real, because for me it feels like real me feels with this energies, okay? Because each planet, each zodiac is like energy and archetype that affects your personality, identity, and your life, and it can affect any, like, many aspects of your life, like love life, career, soul's purpose, life purpose, how you think, who is really attractive to you, like everything. So sometimes it's good to know. So if you're interested, let's go. Okay, on the left is tropical or classic or Western astrology. Okay, this is how my chart looks like. It is very similar, but we will discuss how elements, how houses, they are different, and how like the energies are completely different. On the right side, we have true sidereal astrology. I'm going to drop the link below where you can get 50% off uh, of your natal chart, okay, with my link. But you don't have to. You can discover your placements and you get this part, okay, for free on their website, okay? So you can check if you want to go deeper or if you will want to stay with this astrology, okay? Because those are two completely different systems. And let me explain why. First, we have chart ruler. Is the planet that governs your ascendant sign, because the ascendant describes how you enter life. The planet ruling it becomes the main engine of the chart. It shows the core motivation guiding your path and where your life energy tends to flow. So I have Gemini, okay, and tropical, which is ascendant, okay, Gemini, and chart ruler Mercury. Mercury placement Capricorn, ninth house. So that would mean for me a life path driven by the mind, ideas, and philosophical understanding, searching for truth through thought. Hard to say it. In my sidereal, Taurus ascendant, chart ruler is Venus. Venus placement is Sagittarius, 8th house. So those are completely two different signs, two different elements. And it means a life path driven by relationships, transformation, and profound emotional or energetic exchange. Discovering truth through experience and transformation. So, according to a tropical astrology, my life should be led by my brain, my mind, okay? According to Sidereal Astrology, it's about experiences, energy exchange. And by the way, I have two stelliums in my sidereal chart. And stellium is like when you have three or more planets. So this is like a place in your life that gets like a huge energy focus, okay? And this is mostly the place you get like really fucked up. Like I was. So I will get to that point. So Venus, Mercury. Venus is beauty, as connection, as is completely different energy. Mercury, intellect, mind, and I was very, very intellectual. I was very intellectual, and I always felt like I felt torn between sensuality and intellectuality. But because I was connected, right, and this is something you can do, well, you are born under a specific astrology and you can choose to tap into different system. And let me explain what I mean by this. So every system is like an egregor is a field of people who believe in the same thing and they develop the same behavior. For example, a religion is an egregor. So every single person who believes in specific religion, they're connected. A country is an egregor. So people who are born, for example, like me in Poland, we share specific traits. We are not like for example, Italian. We are not like Scottish people. We are so this is like when you are connected to that field, let's call it that ball of energy, you exchange information with that, and your personality, your life, everything is affected by that. Or another example, the car you drive. Okay, so you own an like BMW, and you will change your driving style. You will drive differently as a BMW owner, or like if you would drive a Mercedes, or maybe you would drive, I don't know, Toyota, right? We don't like this is like subconsciously you're affected on the subconscious level. The same goes with astrology. If you're connected to this system sends you energy and information. If you decide to connect to another one, you receive completely different information, you receive completely different energies, right? This is the same like when you live in different country. I was born in Poland, and I live, for example, in Spain. So after few years, my personality, my energy will start to change because I'm in different environment, in different field. So what else was like completely different? Okay, so what else? And you're going to get a lot of information because I put a description for each planet, what they actually do in your life, and houses, so how they affect, which area of your life is affected. Okay. Ascendant, or rising sign, represents the energy you project into the world. It shapes first impressions, instinctive reactions, and the natural style through which your personality expresses itself. Positive, curious and quick minded, communicative and adaptable. Shadow, restless and scattered, superficial or inconsistent. That would be me as Gemini ascendant. As a Taurus, positive, grounded and reliable, calm and patient. Shadow side, stubborn and resistant to change, comfort seeking or overly attached to security. Which how it manifests in my life. For most of my life, because I discovered Sidereal Astrology last year, so it's something new, and I waited a little bit to test how it feels, if it's really such a huge difference. It is. Since I was a child, I had that need to talk. When I was stressed, I talked. When I was I was keep talking, like keep talking. When I tapped to that Ascendant Taurus, I felt a little bit of relief that I don't need to talk all the time, that I can be quiet sometimes, that I can be steady, I can be grounded, and I love to be grounded. Like Gemini energy is a little bit chaotic. It's very expressive. Like so the difference between the main difference for me between Taurus and Gemini, Taurus likes to be on its own. I love to stay at home sometimes, okay, because I have other influences, other signs that affect me. But I really I don't like socializing so much. Geminis, they thrive. They love that. They love connecting to people. They're very communicative. If you will see someone who, wherever this person goes, will start to talk. And I was like that. When I was little, I talked to everyone. I couldn't shut up. I talked to random people on the street. I was so communicative. So this is a real example of how energy affects who you are and how you act. So I personally feel much better in Taurus energy because and that was underlying. So for me, the main difference between tropical and a sidereal astrology is like the sidereal feels more like me, while a tropical, it was like someone put something like a mask on me and I was peeling this off. So what else? The sun represents the core of your identity, your essential nature, personal will, and the direction in which your life energy naturally flows. It symbolizes the part of you that seeks to express, the part of you that seeks to express, create, and become yourself fully. In tropical sun in Aquarius, okay, positive Aquarius is innovative and forward thinking. Independent and visionary. Shadow, emotionally detached, rebellious for the sake of it. The 10th house, so my sun is Aquarius in the 10th house, that is responsible for career, public reputation, and the role you play in the wider world. In Sidereal, I'm Capricorn. Positive Capricorn is disciplined and strategic, ambitious and resilient. Shadow, controlling or overly rigid, emotionally guarded. The 8th house, transformation, power dynamics, deep psychology, and hidden forces. I always had a problem with my sign, with Aquarius. Always had a problem with Aquarius. First of all, the way how I wanted to dress, it was the first sign like it didn't match my personality. I love elegant style. I always love that. Aquariuses, they are like they don't care how it looks like. They want to be themselves all the time, and they're like aliens. And I felt like an alien for most of my life, okay? But this is like the energy, and the main difference was like an Aquarius is by default rebellious. I felt like I have to be a rebel. Like I need to do it, like for the sake of it, okay? So this could be like shadow side in me, but not always. I felt like I love structure. I felt like I love. I'm very disciplined. In majority of things in my life, I'm very disciplined. While Aquarius loves freedom, and the main difference was I always wanted to have a stable, long-term relationship, and I always seen relationships as something that is an investment. So this is very Capricorn way of thinking. I invest in someone. This is like investment. So Aquarius, freedom, no strings attached. I had a life in Aquarius style for a while. I've never felt happy. I've never felt happy. I've never felt like this energy is fulfilling or this energy gives me what I want. While when I tapped into Capricorn sun, it felt like, oh God, I can be organized, structured. Like I love that. I love planning. A little bit of controlling. Yes, this is the way like I had to learn when I started to work with energy a lot. I tend to like it has to be very structured. And so I learned to let go. But this is like I didn't like the Aquarius. And the funny thing is, like many people I know who have Aquarius signs, like I've met many Aquariuses, okay? They don't match Aquarius at all because their sun sign is like Capricorn, and they felt like Capricorn to me. Okay, so check your sign. The moon reflects your emotional world, instinctive reactions, inner needs, and the way you seek comfort, safety, and emotional connection. In tropical, I'm Scorpio, deeply intuitive, emotionally powerful, and shadow, jealous, or possessive, secretive, or intense. In the sixth house, daily routines, work habits, health, and the way you organize your everyday life. I have also sixth house, but Libra. Positive. Libra is harmonious and diplomatic, fair-minded and cooperative. Shadow, indecisive, people's pleasing. So working with your moon sign is very important for self-regulation, for emotions regulations, how you work with emotions. Especially like in my case, it's sixth house, so that represents routines, habits, and if I am out of my routine. So this is also what kind of energy and what kind of element you're using for self-regulation. Okay, so Scorpio is a water element, deep, intense, sometimes very dramatic. And until I was connected to that astrology, to that energy, I like my emotional world. It was like it's so exhausting. Okay, I felt too much. I was jealous, which well, and that jealousy, it was something that didn't match actually myself truly. I'm not that jealous, but something again affected me, that energy, caused me reactions, very jealous reactions. While Libra is all about balance. And this is what was very like, that was again for me, it feels like tropical astrology. It was like another layer of my being, and now this layer is removed, and everything like I feel or receive is me. Okay, so for me, regulating using air energy and Libra energy, it's simple, because that requires me to, okay, what kind of emotion am I feeling now? Mind, air is connected to mind. How to balance that? Libra is all about balance, giving and receiving. And deep down, that was always something that I needed in my life. That's why, like, in the subconscious alchemy, I use the contrast method, because my moon in Libra, this is how I operate, and this is how I tell people how to balance themselves. This is like my natural I need to speak English more often. So my natural way of self-regulate. Okay, and emotions, they rule us all the time. So for me, logical approach and balancing turned out to be much better than trying to self-regulate yourself as a Scorpio. I mean, I love Scorpios. I find Scorpios very attractive. Like, by default, I'm very attracted to Scorpio, but the way I felt emotions, like, wow, it was too much for me. So what else didn't match? Mercury represents the mind and motion, how you think, learn, analyze information, and communicate your ideas to the world. In tropical, Capricorn. Positive, strategic thinker, practical and disciplined. Shadow, rigid in opinions, pessimistic, or overly cautious. In the ninth house, which is responsible for higher learning, philosophy, travel, and the search for deeper truth and meaning. In Sidereal Astrology, I have Sagittarius, which is a positive philosophical thinker, honest and visionary. Shadow, blunt or tactless, overconfident in beliefs, and it is in the 8th house, which represents transformation, hidden knowledge, power dynamics, and deep psychological insight. Capricorn is Earth, okay? And I was very practical for a majority of my life. You would give me a problem, I would just structurize this. But very, very, very deep inside, I'm like that Sagittarius. And sometimes I had a problem because I said words that they were really blunt, okay? And I'm not like a Capricorn when it comes to mind expansion and the way how I think. Nothing like Capricorn. I wouldn't be so far in spiritual evolution if I wouldn't have that fire inside me who pushed me for another adventure, because I went to the places with my subconscious and with my conscious, and with my mind went crazy many times. Capricorn loves structure. Sagittarius, exploration, is all about expansion, and the way how I expanded my mind to the point when I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to call a psychiatric hospital, please take me, because I was losing my mind. But because that's like fire, okay, I have fire way of thinking, like explorations. I will go to the places that most people would never want to go with my mind, because I'm curious. Okay, was here, what I pushed myself. Capricorn wouldn't do it, and I felt like I was trying to push the wall, which was the wall of the Capricorn, who tried to prevent and stop me from exploration. And I always felt torn between, I should be grounded, I should be disciplined, and I want to go and travel the world, I want to explore places, I want to do crazy stuff. And I was that Sagittarius who wanted to explore, who wanted to learn, who wanted to have that crazy philosophical conversations, while Capricorn wanted to, I don't know, learn in a different way, probably because I pushed myself anyway. So that was, again, that fire inside hit under the rock, because Capricorn is earth and Sagittarius is air, so like volcano. Venus represents love, attraction, pleasure, and values the way you relate to others. what you appreciate, and how you experience beauty and connection. In tropical Capricorn again, positive is loyal and committed, mature in relationships, shadow emotionally reserved, controlling, or overly cautious. In the ninth house, which is responsible for philosophy, higher learning, travel, and the exploration of meaning and truth. In sidereal, Sagittarius again, adventurous in love, honest and passionate, and shadow restless in relationships, fearful of limitation. In the eighth house, which is responsible for transformation, hidden knowledge, power dynamics, and deep psychological insight. And Venus is my chart ruler in Sidereal Astrology. Okay, so I should focus, if I would be connected to a tropical astrology, I should focus on Mercury, because that will be my chart ruler. That will be the main energy. And actually, I'm quite glad, because well, I spent years shaping my mind. Okay, but Venus is something else. This is completely different energy. This is completely like the way I wanted experience love in my life as a Capricorn is completely different. This is long-term relationship, this is stability, this is one person for the rest of your life, this is structure. Okay, and I really wanted, but there was something inside me again, that was that thing inside me that wanted something else. Like I really wanted explanation. I really wanted let's have fun together, let's explore, let's enjoy, let's do crazy stuff together, let's have that very deep philosophical conversations. And I always had, if you don't connect to me on mind level, my legs don't spread, because there is no like I need something for it. And this is Sagittarius. I always want like expansion. And I dated guys very grounded, and I dated guys with that temper, with fire, with exploration. And I always felt guilty that I more enjoyed that exploration, and I should, and that was that thing, I should get married, have kids, be organized, have structure in my life, while that deep inside I really wanted to enjoy my life, but I felt guilty. So that's this, if I would be connected to this energy, I wouldn't feel guilty for having needs to know more, to experience more. And also Venus is responsible for how you make money, because this is the planet of resources. So if I would stick to Capricorn, I should structure, I should be self-disciplined. Well, Sagittarius is completely different way of making money. This is completely different way of enjoying life, of like what I find attractive, how I express myself to the world. And again, if it's my chart rural, Venus is responsible for beauty. So what the fuck? Now it's getting interesting. Mars represents drive, sexuality, courage, and raw life force. The way you take action, assert yourself, and pursue what you want. In tropical Taurus, positive, persistent, and determined, patient, strength. Shadow, stubborn, resistance, slow to act or react. And Taurus in the 12th house, that is responsible for the subconscious, hidden forces, spiritual retreat, and the unseen inner world. I have Aries in Sidereal, positive, bold and courageous, initiating and decisive. My English is not very good today. Shadow, impulsive or aggressive, easily provoked. The 11th house, responsible for friendships, collective movements, future visions, and the communities we align with. For me, Mars is super important. My name is Martina, and that means she belongs to Mars. Okay, so I was born under the name that it's already linked to Mars. My numerology life path is number 4. 4 in the tarot is the Emperor. The Emperor is ruled by Mars. Okay, and I have a temper, like I do have a temper, which was suppressed. For my whole life, I felt like I should be stable, I should be grounded, while inside I had fire burning. So when I started to work with Mars archetype, it was like, explosion. And I was like, this is me, this is me, this is me. I love that. I want to be me. So this also explains why my relationships, and I was mostly with Taurus's guys in the long term, it didn't work out. Why? Because they didn't like my adventure side. So they didn't like that fire. I mean, I can't say that those were the best relationships in general, because neither of them was healthy at all. It was like I always was judged by that fire. And Aries, they are initiators. They do crazy stuff. They are brave. They are bold. They are like impulsive. And my patience. So that's the thing. I'm supposed to be extremely patient. Supposed to be. I'm supposed to have Mars in Taurus that is very patient. And I was patient. Like I forced myself to be patient. But on the inside, I was boiling all the time. I was like, I'm gonna explode. I'm gonna explode. I can't. So it was like now I can access that fire, and I can learn how to harness this fire without actually burning myself down. Because this was like I was like a volcano. So like fire forced to be under the rock, inside the rock, hidden. Okay, so that was very for me it was even painful. And again, sexuality, oh my god, completely, like I am naturally Taurus when it comes to this type of the energy. I always been more fire, and I wanted more fire. And the moment I was like trying to suppress myself, I didn't feel happy at all, not at all. And this is like, for me, it's about to be authentic. It's about to express myself in the way that feels good to me. For some people, this energy would be fine. For me, and I always, like, I did crazy stuff. Like I drove from from Scotland to Spain, driving like a car with broken gearbox because I wanted to go to Spain, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. If I would be a Taurus, no fucking chance I would ever took that risk. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I feel like I always did crazy stuff. And again, this was the conflict. Now I feel like happy, like I've done it, and I feel aligned with that energy. But before, I felt guilty. Like, you're supposed to be grounded. You're supposed to be practical. You're supposed to. I wasn't. So now I can do crazy stuff without regret, which is good. Actually, this is good. Jupiter represents growth, expansion, wisdom, and opportunity. It shows where life encourages you to broaden your horizons, develop faith, and discover a deeper sense of meaning. So this is the probably the only one, as far as I remember, where I have exactly the same placement. So either tropical or sidereal, this is the same house, the same place. So positive Taurus is patient and steady growth, strong connection to material stability, shadow, over attachment to comfort, resistance to change. And this is the 12th house, responsible for the subconscious, spiritual insight, hidden blessings, and inner realms. In this placement, I didn't have any inner conflict. I always felt I need to build something, and because, and again, it was my approach. I need to build something, and it's going to be spiritually oriented, okay? And well, I'm building the subconscious alchemy, alchemia plus świadomości. So this is a Polish pillar, let's say. So it's going to be 4 of them. The whole idea, the whole structure I'm going to build, and this is like I approach to this step by step, and I see the way how I'm going to expand. So I have plan ready, and I'm going to do it slow and steady, and I'm going to expand with time. This is really and that was something I'd never questioned. It was like, okay, I need to prepare plan, I need to prepare structure, I need to have 4 pillars. So it's going to be Polish and English, 2 pillars for Polish, 2 pillars for English, and it's going to be integral sexuality as well, because I have so much knowledge about sexuality that it has to be said, okay, and it requires like completely different space for it. So yeah, it was like absolutely fine for me, no conflict, but I had conflicts in other places.
Saturn represents structure, responsibility, discipline, and life lessons. It shows where we face challenges that ultimately shape maturity, strength, and long term mastery. I had Saturn in Capricorn, which in positive is strategic and discipline, strong sense of responsibility, shadow controlling tendencies emotionally guarded. In the eighth house, responsible for deep transformation, shared power, psychological depth, and the cycles of loss and rebirth that shape our lives. In Sidereal Astrology, I'm Sagittarius, and positive is principled and truth seeking, philosophical and wise, shadow side, rigid beliefs, blunt or dogmatic. In the seventh house, partnerships, long term relationships, contracts, and dynamic exchange between self and others.
So my karmic lessons should be, and they were about death and rebirth, because I had Saturn, which is daddy of Capricorn. Okay, so it's ruler of Capricorn. While if I would knew like my most life lessons is going to be relationship wise, and it was, but I wasn't actually paying that attention to it. I mean, I was trying to survive heartbreak after heartbreak, right? But those are completely two different places. So when you're Saturn and it's like this planet is heavy, and I have stellium with big planets, so it's really significant to actually check where those planets affecting you the most. Saturn affected my relationships really badly, okay? Lesson after lesson after lesson. But when you work with fire energy, it's different. Sagittarius works with challenges completely differently than Capricorn would do it. So this is all about to get set of skills, powers, behaviors, reactions, mindsets that will help you to overcome things in your life and fulfill your lessons. And this is also the difference between Capricorn and Sagittarius. It's huge. Okay, I mean both have tendency to be bossy as fuck, but it is like is different. And for me, connecting to that and understanding that I really had hidden stellium that wasn't show up on tropical but was affecting me again inside. So again, that was like that layer, and inside there was like huge conflict with that what was on that layer, like it didn't match anything, and it caused me like putting energy and effort into direction that actually I shouldn't, or maybe I didn't have to. Okay, so what else affected me so bad?
Uranus represents change, awakening, and rebellion against limitations. It shows where we seek freedom, originality, and sudden breakthroughs. In tropical Capricorn, strategic reformer, ambitious innovator. Shadow, disruptive control, cult, or calculating change. The eighth house, deep transformation, shared power, psychological depth, and the cycles of loss and rebirth that reshape our lives. In Sidereal, I'm against Sagittarius, freedom loving visionary thinker, Shadow, restless commitment, rebellious in relationships. The seventh house, partnerships, long term relationships, contracts, and the dynamic exchange between self and others.
So again, different houses, different energy, different approach. And for me, trying to have breakthroughs as a Capricorn, it was much harder than, well, actually, so that transition, okay, that transition when I've decided to connect to Sagittarius, oh, it was completely out of my comfort zone, completely, like everything inside of me had to shift, and I had to adjust myself to the energy of Sagittarius and leave that strategic thinking Capricorn behind, and that journey to Spain with broken gearbox. Actually, I didn't even plan it anything. I had only I booked only one hotel in France, the other hotel in France, and I was driving. That was the biggest adventure of my life, and for that Capricorn energy, and that was exactly that journey was me leaving the old astrology behind and welcoming Sagittarius and other fire placements in my life. Again, it was completely out of my comfort zone. It was something completely different. But I needed to adjust. I needed to adapt to it, to those energies in a hard way. But again, I have big planets in stellium, so they affect me really deeply. And for me, it's really important to work with energies that benefits me the most. And I prefer to be rebellious with fire.
Neptune represents imagination, spirituality, dreams, and illusion. It reveals where seek transcendence, inspiration, and connection with something beyond the material world. And I had Capricorn, visionary strategist, spiritually disciplined. Shadow, illusions around control or power, emotional detachment. Again, the 8th house, deep transformation, shared power, psychological death, and the cycles of loss and rebirth that reshape our lives. Again, Sagittarius, so idealistic and inspired, spiritually adventurous. Shadow, unrealistic expectations. Escapism and beliefs. Or that was so me. The 7th house, partnership, exactly. Long-term relationships, contracts, and the dynamic exchange between self and others.
Yeah, so again, I had to deal with the planet of illusion, okay, with something like with energies that didn't match my inner core. So when it comes to exploration and spirituality, again, Sagittarius was real me. Capricorn, it was like because of practicality and tendency to control everything. Like Sagittarius is all about freedom. Capricorn loves control and planning. So it was that the biggest internal conflict was between me and my adventure and my need to explore, and Capricorn, who needed to have everything planned. I mean, it was fine to learn how to be self-disciplined. Okay, so that's the energy that's the energy that helped me to keep going. But Sagittarius, this is the energy all in. Like I'm going. I have no idea how am I so in my spiritual evolution, okay, I've done crazy stuff. Like I've done super crazy stupid stuff because I didn't know I can't. And when I talked to other spiritual people and when I said what I've done, they were like, you're not supposed to go there, you're not supposed to do that. I'm like, well, I didn't know. So this is like the lack of Sagittarius. Like I could get killed. Yeah. I always so this is like I always get myself into trouble because I'm curious what was there. So yeah, completely different energies. I mean, I felt like Capricorn kind of was too reserved, too cold, too blocked sometimes. So that was the energy that was blocking my potential at this stage, that when I needed to evolve, when I needed to expand, when I needed to discover. So I felt like again I was pushing myself against myself, while this was just a layer over me. Okay, and other planets, they're also like everything was so messed up.
Pluto represents deep transformation, power, and rebirth. It shows where life pushes us to confront shadows, release old patterns, and emerge stronger. My Pluto was in Scorpio, intensely perceptive, emotionally powerful, and shadow controlling tendencies, obsessive behavior. The 6th house, daily work routines, health, and the system that structure every life, everyday life. In Sidereal, I am Libra, positive, diplomatic, and fair-minded, harmonizing influence, shadow, indecisive, conflict avoidant, the sixth house, daily work, routines, health, and the system that structure everyday life.
So Pluto is native planet of Scorpio, and this creates like deep, intense transformation. Okay, and because that was the sixth house, which is also connected to my moon sign, and I had Libra here and in Scorpio here. Libra and Scorpio. So again, when it is about routine, home, and habits, and you have transformation there, that also transforms the way how I self-regulated myself during transformations using not the right element. And I work with elemental energies. I work with like when I manifest something, when I like water, it doesn't do to me much, not really. I like that. I like to be near water when I was connected to Scorpio energy, but I didn't felt that pull like I had towards fire and burning things, like burning things. I mean, not burning wall, but manifestations card or whatever, to set the intention or to burn something to disconnect myself. Fire always worked for me. And again, balancing. So again, Libra is about diplomacy. When I was connected to Scorpio, I was pretty heavy. I'm not saying Libra is light and polite, and I don't like the way. So this is like not every change has only benefits to me, because Libra is so about diplomacy and also people's pleasing, right? Because Libras avoid conflict. So on the outside, I was powerful Scorpio, but inside I was little Libra that was trying to make everyone happy, and sometimes uh, it cost me my needs, my desires, okay, because I wanted everyone else to be happy. So when it comes to transformation, Pluto, not well, it doesn't affect me that deeply, that much, okay, but it caused me a lot of imbalances because I didn't use the right approach to that aspect of my life, so to speak. Okay, but yeah, now I'm glad that I connected to the fire, so that Libra is like less people's pleasing, more I don't give a fuck vibe, which yeah took me years to actually what's the name for it? Unlock.
Chiron represents the core wound and the path of healing. It reveals where we might feel vulnerable or incomplete, yet where we also develop deep wisdom that can help others. So here I have two similarities. I have Gemini and Gemini, but different houses. So the difference between first house, that is house of self-worth, personal values, and resources we build for security and stability, in the first house, that is all about identity, personal presence, and the way we initiate our path in the world. So Gemini in positive aspect is insightful communicator, curious and mentally agile, shadow self-doubt and expression overthinking.
So because I was linked to tropical, and I worked on my self-worth for the first 37 years of my life, 36. Then now when I'm 37 and I work with Sidereal Astrology, then I work on house number 2, which is about identity. And Gemini, it's communication, it's expression, and that was the biggest block in my life in both cases. Expressing your needs, forget it. Expressing your thoughts, forget it. No one is going to listen to you. No one is going to care what you have to say. And that was Gemini, and that was also a huge one to find who I am really, because Gemini tends to shift between identities and personalities, and that was my journey when I work with pretty much any archetype I could find. So that could be goddesses archetypes, that could be the queen, the witch, like old archetypes, new archetypes, the weaver, the architect. So it gave me a lot of interesting knowledge about how people operate, what patterns, right? So patterns reading, patterns understanding. But yes, that I needed to heal my core identity. I needed to express and I needed to speak, and I think that was the whole reason why my higher self kicked my ass so I would start my YouTube channel a year ago, because I deleted all of my videos when I split with my Treya. So yeah, I've done a good job when it comes to my Chiron.
The North Node represents the direction of growth in this lifetime. It points toward qualities and experiences that expand the soul beyond familiar habits. And in tropical, I have Pisces. Positive, compassionate and intuitive, imaginative and spiritually open. Shadow, escapist tendencies, lack of clear boundaries. The 11th house governs friendships, communities, collective ideals, and visions for the future. And Sidereal, I have my beloved Aquarius, positive, innovative and progressive, independent thinker. Shadow, detached from emotions, rebellious or contrarian. The ninth house, philosophy, higher learning, exploration, and the search for truth and expanded perspective.
So the differences between energies again is quite huge. Okay, so we have Pisces and we have Aquarius, two complete, like it couldn't be different. Pisces, intuitive, emotional, creative, water element, and I always had a problem with Pisces. I didn't like the energy. Not to offend any Pisces here, my sister is Pisces, okay? It's just like it didn't match because inside there was Aquarius energy that wanted to surface in order to fulfill um, this life purpose in completely different area of life, because 11th house and 9th house, those are two completely different areas of life, and I should focus on higher learning, on exploration instead of collective and friendships, right? I have Mars for it. My Mars is in 11th house, and with fire energy, completely different approach. And North Node, so this is the energy that pulls you, that's your life theme. So I struggled with Pisces energy because it was water, and inside I had air energy, completely different approach to learning, right?
Midheaven represents public direction, career path, and legacy you build in the world. It reflects how your ambitions manifest and how society recognizes your contribution. In tropical, I have Aquarius, positive, visionary, and progressive, independent and innovative, shadow detached from convention, unpredictable or rebellious, in the 10th house of career, reputation, authority, and one's visible role in society. In Sidereal, I have Capricorn, which is strategic and determined, responsible and disciplined, shadow, overly controlling, emotionally guarded. The 8th house, transformation, power dynamics, deep psychology, and the forces that reshape behind the scenes.
That Aquarius Capricorn war inside of me. So the thing is to put energy in the right direction. So tropical astrology would tell me to focus Aquarius power, so to speak, in the 10th house, that is career, etc. While I should build my legacy, and I love this, I always resonated with the word legacy. Always. And this is actually one of the qualities of Capricorn. So I do have Capricorn energy still, okay, but in different aspects of my life, in different placements, in different areas. So let's summarize this first.
In tropical astrology, when it comes to elements, I have earth signs 7 times, air signs 3 times, water signs 3 times. Okay, when we add midheaven. So it's really like I should be very grounded, practical. While when we talk about sidereal elements, earth is 3 times, air is 4 times, fire is 6 times. So fire is dominating. When it comes to differences, the main differences, and I think this is really important for me because I work with energies consciously and I want to know where I should put my attention to. So I have stelliums both in tropical and in sidereal in the 8th house. Okay, so that's transformation, but I need to use correct energies. Apart from that, I have stellium in the 7th house, which was the most important of them all to me. Okay, so this is a relationship, this is a partnership, alliances. So this is like, what is the stellium? Stellium occurs when 3 or more planets gather in the same sign or house, concentrating energy in one area of the chart. This creates a powerful emphasis, meaning that a particular theme strongly shapes a person's life, personality, and experiences. And oh my god, relationships experienced me so much. Um so what you are going to get if you would like to get yourself that sidereal chart, I wrote down every category that is covered in this, so you will know before you will go for it. So you will get ascendant, who you are destined to become. Chart rule, your destiny. Sun, your vital life force. Moon, your inner world. Mercury, which is your practical mind. Venus, your values. Mars, your desires. Jupiter, your worldview. Saturn, your inner parent. And yeah, it is like Saturn is karma and your daddy sometimes. Uranus, the gateway to your higher self. Neptune, the gateway to your soul. Pluto, the gateway to a new you. Uh, Chiron, to the gateway to healing. Midheaven, who you will be known for. Midheaven rule your legacy. North and South nodes, your life path, so how you started or where you're going. Personality, yin, yang, I8G elements, personal orientation, motivation, life destiny, core personality, relationship life, productive life, personal strengths, personal challenges, personal growth, and overall personality.
So it is up to you. A link is below. You can get your own report. I checked my mom. I checked few friends. I checked few people that I worked with. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. It was like it every single case. It was like a tropical astrology for some reason feels like a mask. Okay, while whatever is inside, it seems to be more into that sidereal astrology. Okay, even Vedic astrology would resonate with me the most. I don't understand why. It is just like how I connect to energies. It might not work to you. Sometimes people, they are afraid to disconnect from the system that they know for the whole life. Like, I've been Aquarius for 36 years. Why should I be a Capricorn right now? This is something new. I love new. Okay, not everyone does. Some people will stick to to this system, and it's okay. I always want to again explore, expand, and get more knowledge, especially when it comes to influences on me, and astrology influences everyone's life, even if they don't want to have. You're affected by this, you're connected, unless you will decide to disconnect from collective field completely. Then you won't be affected by astrological archetypes, but you will still be affected by the planets, I can guarantee. This is how this matrix works. Okay, So if you have any questions, drop in the comments. And good luck and enjoy your astrological journey. I will for sure make more videos about zodiacs, about Ophiuchus, that is the 13th zodiac, and I went into that rabbit hole, super curious, and I discovered a lot about Ophiuchus, which is right after Scorpio, my new favorite zodiac sign. And by the way, so my mom, she was born as a Sagittarius, and we discovered she is Scorpio, and we go along really well. So in any setting, so yeah, it's very interesting, and it tells a lot why you feel attracted to specific people, why you go along with specific people, why you don't go along with specific people, even if on the surface you could be a very compatible couple, okay, and it seems like it's not working despite the astrology knowledge. So maybe sometimes it's just not the right system for you. Bye.